Well, good Monday morning, everybody, as if there is such a thing. This is my least favorite day of the week. My theory has always been if I get through Monday, then the rest of it's gonna be a breeze. Who did I miss? Good morning, Michelle Reed Duncan. Sugar Mama made it. Hello, Chris Melcher. Kalada Hope is in. Snow came back. She's a member again. Woohoo! Woohoo! Inch High PI. I saw your comment the other day where you wanted my email. I responded to it, but not sure if you got my response. But I'm going to put it in the chat. CLL72020 at gmail.com. There you go. Good morning, No Pants Bob. Good morning, Abby Newman. Good morning, Cool Gamer. Hope everyone had a fabulous weekend. Mine went too fast as usual. Way too fast. Our girl Muscles is off vacation and back. Dakota's here. What's up? They're saying that it's going to be cooler in Oklahoma the next few days, but define cooler. Because when I have boob sweat at 8:30 in the morning, I don't call that a cool front. I don't call that a cool front. Good morning, I see you. Good morning. Pegasus is in here. I've missed you, Pegasus. Let's take a minute and welcome our neighbor, whoever's in front of you, whoever's below you, and say, hola. Hello. Well, Alexi, namely her attorney, they've got some tricks up their sleeve. As you know, they're blaming the hospital for her putting the baby in the trash can. Now, we heard some very, very scary recaps from the hospital staff. One that even said that the little baby boy was tied up in this plastic bag and it was suctioned to his face. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a coroner, anything like that. I'm not a nurse. But that tells me that he was breathing. Just how sick is this person? It's like, I went off the other day about Leilani Simon's attorney who's trying to get the murder charges thrown out. We're actually going to do another show about Quentin tomorrow. And I was just like, look, everybody needs a good defense. Don't get me wrong. Everybody deserves a good defense. But how do some of these people sleep? How do these defense attorneys sleep knowing that an innocent child is gone? None of these kids asked to be here. So why the hell do these mothers take it upon themselves to do these things? It's absolutely disgusting. So before I get to it, let's look at the comments. Oh, Crime Story Diva made it in. Wild Hair said anyone who would throw a baby in the trash is trash, period. Yes. Who would even think that? And this whole she didn't know she was pregnant, she did. She had already picked out a name for the baby. Some people say, well, Alex could be a girl or a boy's name. What's it matter? You don't pick out a name for a pimple unless it's like really, really big. You don't pick out a name for an ingrown toenail. She picked out the name of the baby that was growing inside of her. She picked out a name, her and the boyfriend. And Mr. Boyfriend has a lot to answer for. Let me tell you. Because I just do not think this was all her idea. At all. You can't tell me that for the last 9 months, well, from January back, he didn't ever see her unclothed. Come on. She slept over at night. You're telling me he didn't feel his child kicking inside of her? Nah. Nah, Mr. Boyfriend, I'm not buying it. Let's get to the comments and then we're going to get to the show because it is maddening. All right, from the last show about Alexi, Tanya said the nurses did tell her she was pregnant, and at that time she was still trying to tell her shocked and screaming mother that she was still a virgin. Then they went and did another test on her, I assume, to find out how far she was or if the baby was okay. She said, I'm not sure what the test was for. And that was the 45 minutes from getting the initial test to when she went to the bathroom. It's easy for people to judge the hospital staff after the fact, and with hindsight, I would think it would be more concerning if hospital staff were tying their patients to the bed just because they fear every patient's going to lie about their pregnancy, only to use the hospital bathroom to deliver a baby, wrap it up in a plastic garbage bag to constrict the baby from breathing, and then throw it in the trash. Alexi is criminally responsible, as are her mother and the complicit boyfriend. Don't think old mom and boyfriend are out of the woods, because they are going to go through their messages. They may not have done it yet, but there's another case in Nebraska, and we're going to talk about it towards the end of the show, where a mother and her daughter were in on it together, and they both got charged. It's a little different story, but we're going to talk about it later today. MJ said narcotic pain medicines, for example, demeanor, morphine, Stadol, are given during early labor to provide temporary pain relief. For early labor, these medications are given as an injection into the butt muscle. The same medications may also be given through IV during active labor. Yes, I had morphine. Not everybody gets an epidural. With my first child, I had morphine and demeanor. The other two were all natural. And here's the thing. When you walk into the emergency room in labor, you don't automatically get an epidural. You have to wait. So these medications are used up until when the woman gets the epidural. Now, this was not a comment on my channel, but on Court TV's channel. And this is what a lot of nurses are saying. And this is a very important comment. Her name is Justice. She said, I'm a nurse, and I swear if I had a patient who pulled this crap and then turned around and tried to sue me, I would lose it. The absolute audacity. Those doctors and nurses were doing the best with the info they had. This girl knew she was pregnant and didn't tell them, and thought that what? That eventually the problem would just go away? Like, no wonder her back hurts. She's 9 months pregnant, for God's sake. You can't claim negligence when you didn't even press the nurse assist button and you locked yourself in the damn toilet. She goes on to say, and if I hear one more time about the fact she was given morphine, it's given in childbirth. She says this defense attorney is scum. Scum. Because think about it. If he has it his way, there are going to be doctors, nurses, CNAs, probably the ultrasound tech that are going to have to pay using their insurance and could possibly lose their jobs, their careers, all over Alexi's selfish act. So when people say, Well, she's just 19. Well, this is medical staff. She didn't even give him a chance to try to save her baby. She didn't even give him a chance. 19 my ass, who cares? What does that have to do with anything? But she and her mother, the attorney, Mr. Boyfriend, they are okay with ruining these people's careers over her not wanting to be inconvenienced with a baby. What the hell is going on? If I was Mr. Boyfriend, if I was Mr. Boyfriend's mama, we would be suing Alexi for wrongful death. That's exactly what I would do if this happened to my grandchild. I would be suing her because she didn't hit the nurse's button. She did not give them a chance to save her baby. She didn't tell anybody that she'd given birth. She continued to lie. If he cared anything about his baby, and if his mom cared anything about her grandbaby, they would be suing Alexi. Wrongful death. And guess what? They would win. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what is wrong with these people. I really don't. Now we get to it. This is what has come out recently. More about the hospital negligence. I mean, even old Vinny at Court TV, spray tan Vinny, he's shaking his head like, on what planet does this make sense? Let's go through this.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And it just seems in the past several weeks, we've had a series of stories that are very unusual and very confusing. And this hour will be no exception to that. One of the stories involves a young woman, who's 19 years old, goes to the hospital complaining of back pain. She goes there with her mom. She ends up, she's in labor, delivers the child in the bathroom.
And don't forget, this was her first baby. We all remember, those of us that have had children, we remember what the first childbirth was like. It takes quite a while. Let me tell you, she had probably been in labor for a good 11, 12 hours. This didn't just hit her. I want to know where the water broke. Was it at Mr. Boyfriend's house when she was staying over there? Was it her house? Did it happen when she was giving birth? I don't know. Hello, Dynamite.
Leaves the child in the bathroom, in plastic, in the trash. She's now charged with murder. Take a listen here because police responded. Body cams are rolling, and you get to see some of the statements and reactions like in real time. Let's take a look.
We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We came knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up. She had taken it and put it in the regular trash, and there's still trash all around the baby. She put it right in the trash can. Then she twisted it and wrapped it underneath him, and then set the baby in the bottom. Then she put paper towels on top, and then 2 wadded up trash cans or liners. They were clean on top of that, and then she placed a brand new clean liner in the trash can like it was ready to take trash. When they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid. Cold and blue already. His temperature was like 95. No signs of life, no breathing, no respirations, no heartbeat, nothing, no movement whatsoever.
His temperature was 95, no respiration, no heartbeat. So when people are like, they didn't do CPR, he had no sign of life. And we don't know that they didn't do CPR. That seems to be a big argument right now. And let me tell you something. This lawsuit, when it hits the hospital, all of these malpractice carriers are going to get involved. Every one of them. This is not going to bode well for Alexi, because malpractice attorneys are mofos. Some of them are doctors themselves. They're in it to win it. They might countersue her. They might countersue her. Oh, Mr. Boyfriend better wake up. Because as we know, the police want to speak to Mr. Boyfriend. They contacted him on February 9th on Devin's personal phone. He advised Devin he wanted to interview him about the incident, which we know what the incident is, on January 27th. Devin said he'd call me back as he was in school at the moment. I left him my phone number. About a week later, he called him again. Devin advised he didn't want to speak with the detective. I asked him to keep my number in case he wanted to at a later date. Well, guess what? He's going to get called as a witness. They're also still waiting on his DNA to find out whose baby it is. I mean, I'm sure it's Mr. Boyfriend's. But what the hell? Why wouldn't he be doing everything he can to get justice for his son? What do you think?
So she's charged with murder. So a big part of the case will be the autopsy and toxicology results. Let's take a look. Cause of death: asphyxia, suffocation, strangulation, manner of death, homicide, how the injury occurred, tied in a plastic bag.
Okay. Report of findings. Baby John Doe. Time of death pronounced 2:28 a.m. Exam type autopsy. Suffocation, strangulation, asphyxia. How the injury occurred, tied in a plastic bag. She never hit the call button. This is damning evidence. This right here would be enough for Mr. Boyfriend to sue her. And that's what he needs to do. Now, I understand she doesn't have two dimes to rub together, but that's not the point.
Then the important toxicology results: caffeine presumed positive, morphine free 19 nanograms per milliliter, phentermine 420 nanograms per milliliter. So what exactly do these results mean for the defense? Joining me right now in Ruidoso, New Mexico, Alexi Treviso's defense attorney. He's back with us tonight, Gary Mitchell. Gary, thanks so much for joining us again tonight. Autopsy results are out. Toxicology is out. What does it mean to you?
Well, it means that this child didn't die like everybody thinks, and the child wasn't killed by my client. That's what that means. And at the end of the day, we know that there's a major issue with the autopsy and the way they claim that this child died of suffocation. That's not correct. We also know that the hospital committed a major wrong in giving my client morphine.
No. Now, he's going to find an expert to agree with him. It always happens. There's going to be some woman in that jury that's going to say, I was given morphine when I was having my baby. Or some man on there saying, well, now hang on. When my wife was given birth, they gave her morphine. Now, if I was told correct, capital if, little baby Alex was cremated. The only way for this KFC looking lawyer to disprove this autopsy is to have a second autopsy. Well, you can't do it with a bag of ashes. Okay, Colonel Sanders? So what are you going to do? If he was cremated, how are you going to disprove the autopsy? You can't.
For a lengthy period of time, well over an hour, almost an hour and a half. And we know that the baby had morphine in it as well, which suppressed breathing. So there are many, many issues. We also know this child had certain bacteria that they found at the autopsy, including E. coli, which can cause major problems for a baby or elderly people. We also know that she was positive for COVID and influenza A and B. So we had a very sick child. And we also...
So now she had the flu and COVID on top of it? Do what?
Know that from other forensic pathologists that the type of tests run by the lab, by the Office of the Medical Investigator in New Mexico are not classically used. So we had major issues in that regard. And then we've learned that some of the things that the hospital has been saying are incorrect.
He doesn't know, he wasn't there. He's only going off of what his client has said. Anyone think that the E. coli could have come from the toilet? The hell is wrong with old Colonel Sanders? And Alexi is not a child. If Alexi was 12, we'd be having a different conversation. She is not a child.
She never, for example, she never told him that she was a virgin. She never told him that she didn't have sex. Things of that particular nature. So there's a lot.
At what point, because we bring it back to the fact that she goes to the bathroom to deliver this child, at what point did the hospital know she was pregnant? At what point did she know she was pregnant?
They knew she was pregnant at 12:51, 51 minutes after midnight. They did not tell her. She did not know she was pregnant until she had the baby at 1:39, 1:40 in the bathroom. That's when she first learned that she was giving birth.
She already had a baby name picked out. What is he going to do when the prosecution calls people from school, her school friends, that repeat what they told the Daily Mail when they said she's very manipulative, she lies, and her and Devin had already picked out a name for the baby? What's he going to do with them? Tanya said he's testing the case via public relations, muddy the shit show a little more with all these outrageous claims. She should be in the trash can with all the diseases he's claiming she had. And I had to bite my tongue because I was laughing really hard at this comment. Boy, Mom said, the COVID made her do it? Yeah, that makes sense. Don't you love it when they pick out hot topics to get people going? She had COVID. She had COVID. She tested positive for COVID. Big whoop. Big whoop.
So the hospital knew for 46 minutes that she was pregnant. They didn't tell her. They let her go to the bathroom. And we know that a woman giving birth, particularly a teenager, may feel that they simply have to go to the bathroom. You use the same or similar muscles in that regard. We also know that they continue to give her not only morphine, but 5 other different drugs, 4 of which are contraindicated for birth for a fetus. So the hospital knew all of this. They didn't stop. And not only that, they unhooked her from the IV and allowed her to go to the bathroom, knowing that she was pregnant at the time. A cardinal sin in the emergency room.
So what is the status of the case right now? These results are relatively new. It wasn't known the last time we spoke, at least. So are there conversations going back and forth with prosecutors, or are we just on the track of this thing moving towards a trial?
We're on the track of this moving toward a trial. We're in the investigatory stage. At least I am. I'm getting my experts, giving them all the materials. Obviously, you know from my conversation with you that I've already talked to certain experts, and I have a lot of information about the case.
The only experts that count in this are the hospital staff that weren't allowed in the bathroom when she was giving birth, weren't allowed to even try to save the baby. What are you going to do when those experts are on the stand, Colonel Sanders? The only thing you should be investigating is how wonderful those buttermilk biscuits are and how creamy your coleslaw is. That's it. And of course, the secret recipe.
Plus, the trial is not set until next year. We know that the trial date that was set in the fall is going to be moved. And I'm preparing motions regarding everything from changes of venue to the misuse of privileged materials to a motion to suppress certain statements and things of that particular nature.
And final question here tonight. Alexi, your client, she's not behind bars, right? She's released and being monitored. What's her status tonight, and how would you describe her state of mind right now?
Well, first of all, she's just graduated high school. She stays alone, with the exception of her parents, and she doesn't go out. She and other than visiting a sister or relatives that may come by, she doesn't see any friends. She has no physical contact with her boyfriend, the father of the child. She talks to me, and she's in some counseling as ordered by the court.
All right, Gary.
But other than that, lives a very stoic life.
Yeah. Gary Mitchell, representing Alexi Treviso. We appreciate your time tonight, Gary, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
We shall. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, let's bring in our think tank. Joining us live in studio tonight, criminal defense attorney, entertainment attorney, former state attorney in Florida, and former assistant DA in Atlanta, Daryl Cohen. Also with us, criminal defense attorneys Marsha Mignon, and finally, criminal defense attorney, the man behind the glasses, Josh Schiffer. And the glasses, Marsha, did you guys set this up ahead of time?
We tried.
It's a long time plan.
All right.
We're working on
They're
this.
going to do battle with you, Daryl.
Trendsetters.
Yeah. All right. Daryl, the corner of my eye, I'm doing the interview here, corner of my eye, Daryl's making faces throughout this interview. What are your thoughts about this case?
Well, my first thoughts are, I don't think that infant was able to walk from the hospital room bed to the bathroom and jump into the trash can and surround itself with plastic and suffocate. I think her lawyer is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's doing a good job, but he doesn't have the evidence. He may be saying that they made mistakes. This woman sadly killed her child. Whether or not it's murder, as far as...
That's what she's charged with.
Well, she's charged with murder, and she actually killed her child, in my view, based on the evidence I see. But having said that, I think ultimately this will end up being a plea, her getting a lot of counseling and a lot of help, because it's an unusual murder. It's terrible, but it's unusual.
Marsha?
I disagree. I think the hospital
See,
has...
everyone that sits in that seat usually disagrees with Daryl.
It's a given.
It's the
And
disagree
this
seat.
seat
Yeah.
and that seat, all those seats. It's not hard.
Now, she's a defense attorney as well. She still advocates for Casey Anthony, this woman in the middle with the pretty orange dress on. I do love that dress.
The only reason I disagree is because I know that a lot of times it's difficult to understand how at such a young age, she could not know that she's pregnant. It's happened to women even older than she is that say, I didn't even know I was pregnant until I got to the hospital. My concern is that the hospital, based on the information from her attorney, had all the knowledge prior to her, assuming arguendo that's true, that she was pregnant. And if that's the case, there's a whole lot of negligence to go around.
But that doesn't stop. A murder, negligence is one thing. Murder, the actual act of killing your child, is still a murder.
Well,
negligence or not.
Assuming the child wasn't killed by morphine, assuming the child wasn't killed by all the medications that they were pumping her with when she got to the hospital and said, I have back pain. And if you're pumping her with medication, knowing that she's pregnant, then there might have been a murder, but it was committed by the hospital.
Oh,
And really, I'm going to follow up on that because really.
Now, we all know that as you, first of all, these were not lethal doses. They knew she was pregnant. They knew she was pregnant. Now, as you get further into labor, they have to start turning it down. As some of you know, this woman, who is she? I mean, come on.
I've dealt with hospitals. I've been deeply involved with one and or more pregnancies.
You've been pregnant?
No, but I've contributed. One of the issues is you don't just go to the hospital and get some morphine. They check into you before they start pumping you up with the good stuff. You also don't really get treated as a woman without pregnancy tests coming out really quickly. It's one of the first things doctors do. So I'm really interested to hear about what the hospital did and clearly didn't do. But I agree with Daryl. There's some serious mental health issues involved with this. I find it very difficult to conceive not realizing you're pregnant, and then there's some untruths being shared.
Let's do this.
Here.
Let's watch together. Alexi, this again is on the body cam. This is her reaction in the moment. Now her mom's in there, the doctor's in there, and obviously officer with a body cam. Let's watch.
I'm sorry. It came out in me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
It was not crying or nothing.
I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And she's looking at her mother. Of course, her mother, I told you about this. She said, I was scared. Now the jury's going to see this. They're going to put together a motive real quick. She was scared. Then she said it wasn't crying or nothing. It's not an it. It's a baby. It is a baby. Thank you, Angel, for the Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Thank you, Tanya. Her saying I was scared, to me, is very significant.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
It's difficult. Let me show you one more piece of evidence, okay? That may be used in this case. I don't know. This is from Yvonne the Plug on TikTok. This is a still frame from a video. That's her. She's still cheerleading. She's still cheerleading. That's her right in the middle.
All right. I'm no OBGYN. Look at that picture. What does that appear to be? There's no basketball under her sweater. That is a baby bump. You're telling me that she didn't know she was pregnant? You're telling me her mother's sitting right there. I told you to tell me. How did you not know? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, let me tell you, the attorney, he's no joke. He is not a public defender. He knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the courtroom. Someone is paying him big bucks deluxe. Somebody went to the old savings and loan, and I'm assuming took out a second mortgage for this defense, because he's had other high-profile clients. This one in particular, Cody Posey. Some of you might know who he is, some of you might not. But many years ago, Cody Posey was accused of killing his father, stepmother, and stepsister at the Hondo Valley Ranch of ABC newsman Sam Donaldson. And he did. He did. Gary Mitchell, who is the attorney that is defending Alexi, said this is quite a young man. Something happened to him. You have a young man who's shattered, who needs a lot of love and attention to understand everything going on in his life. He was not charged as an adult. He went to a halfway house and is out now after a triple murder. So when I hear things like this, thank you, Chloe, for the super sticker, I about lose my damn mind.
David?
Remember, same attorney that Alexi has. 3 murders. His father, stepmother, and stepsister. And he's out. Woo! Damn, Gary. Now, mind you, this was almost 20 years ago. Gary didn't age well. He looks more like Colonel Sanders than Colonel Sanders does. If you get into this case, it is quite a rabbit hole. He basically went to a juvenile detention center, had to go to school, and he's out now. He murdered all 3 of them. That stepsister was not physically or sexually abusing him. All of this, they had character witness after character witness after character witness. They did a SANE exam on him that said there is no sexual abuse. So, needless to say, her attorney knows what he's doing. He has gotten some very bad people off. It is horrible. I mean, horrible. The main question, and I have a really hard time with this, I see a lot of arguing about it in comments, not our comments, is that she didn't know she was pregnant. Nobody told her at the hospital. I guess these rumors that came out in the Daily Mail about how she told her friends that, yeah, she was having a baby. She named the baby. Look at this.
Video of a cheerleader who secretly gave birth in a hospital and then, according to authorities, left her baby to die in a garbage can. She claims she didn't know she was pregnant and panicked. But as Amber Cogliano reports, many say looking at this video of her with her squad, she had to know she was expecting.
It's dramatic, just released body cam video of cops arresting a teenage cheerleader for allegedly murdering her newborn baby while her mom questions cops.
What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
19-year-old Alexi Treviso appears calm as she packs a small bag of personal items before being taken from her home. But her mom is distraught as she watches her daughter being handcuffed by cops. Cops say she left her baby boy in the trash in a hospital bathroom.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. He came out and I didn't know what to do.
Alexi says she had no idea she was pregnant and went to the ER for back pain. But is that believable? Check out this video of Alexi performing on her high school cheerleading squad less than 3 weeks before.
Look at that. They have it circled on Inside Edition. She's clearly pregnant. Now, some women can concealed their pregnancies. I told you about the girl that I went to high school with. She was playing basketball, I mean, doing all kinds of stuff. She checked out of school in April of 1992, and then we heard she had a baby. Nobody had any idea. I have an aunt who's about 6 foot tall, never needed to wear maternity clothes. That's not the case here with Alexi. And look how high she's carrying. She's carrying this baby high. And I think all those diet pills is she was trying to force a miscarriage. That's just my opinion.
Before she gave birth, cops say that's a baby bump showing, and she must have known she was pregnant. I spoke with her defense attorney, Gary Mitchell. In the video, she clearly has a baby bump. How can she say she didn't know she was pregnant?
That's what she thought. She thought she wasn't pregnant because she's still having her monthly cycle, and that's a big issue.
Gary, you don't think she looks pregnant in that video?
I don't make a judgment on that, and I can't make a judgment on that.
This body cam video shows the somber moment cops talked to Alexi's boyfriend, Devin Fierro, in a hospital waiting room.
You are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
Alexi is free on $100,000 bail.
Alexi Treviso has pled not guilty to first-degree murder.
Besides pleading not guilty, they're suing the hospital for negligence. Well, they can sue all day. These charges are not going to go away. Do you think that the DA is going to drop the charges because they're suing the hospital? I have a feeling old boy's hoping to get a judgment on the hospital negligence before they go to trial. So what's he going to do if they say the hospital did nothing wrong? How's he going to defend her then? How's he going to defend her then? Makes absolutely no sense to me, but of course I'm not an attorney. And yeah, $100,000 bond, allowed to attend high school graduation, no ankle monitor, required to attend counseling. Of course, we're going to try mental illness. We're talking about the morphine. It's ridiculous. Canadian Cookie said with a baby bump like that, she had to have known she wasn't just bloated. Her mother's even talking about constipation, scoliosis, and shit. Get real. Show me the receipts for the prune juice if she was so constipated all the time. You've got to be kidding me. That's not what a constipated belly looks like. That's not what gas looks like. You crazy. Crazy. Now I'm going to give you a warning. We've gone through this once before, but it's really, really, really important. And it's hard to hear. It's really hard to hear. So I'm just giving you guys a warning. If it's too much, I understand.
Never seen anything like that, and I pray to God I never see it again.
It's what seasoned medical professionals called a bloody massacre, comparing this crime scene to a horror movie. Brand new body camera captures the unsettling aftermath when a high schooler gave birth in an emergency room bathroom, allegedly killing her newborn son.
I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl.
On January 27th, 19-year-old Alexi Treviso was admitted to an Artesia, New Mexico emergency room after complaining of back pain. Her newborn son was later found stuffed inside a trash can in a bloody bathroom she had just used. The high school senior was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence before her graduation.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
So the mother replies, oh my gosh, when the doctor says we discovered a dead baby in the bathroom. She goes, oh my gosh. Is it just me, or does she not sound surprised? Listen to her reaction again. Oh my gosh.
Complaining of back pain. Her newborn son was later found stuffed inside a trash can in a bloody bathroom she had just used. The high school senior was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence before her graduation.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Listen to her mother. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, obviously, the doctor wouldn't be telling the mother, we discovered a dead baby in the bathroom, if it had nothing to do with them. And she goes, oh my gosh. Nah, she's not even shocked. I can't wait for their Google, Facebook, cell phone records to come back on all of them.
I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Long Crime Network first brought you the chilling body camera video last month when medical professionals confronted Treviso about the baby.
See, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it?
Now we're hearing from medical staff who uncovered the.
Okay. Then she looks at Alexi and says, what did you do to it? Why is this little baby boy considered an it? It. Some of these people acting like this is not a big deal. Babies are not viable. Babies are not humans. Her attorney calls it a fetus. Some of these people lose their damn minds over animal abuse, which they should, but when it comes to a baby, no harm, no foul. I mean, at what age does a child have to be for them to consider it a living person? I don't get it. I never will. So she says to Alexi, what did you do to it? Did she say, was it a little girl or a little boy? Can I see it? It.
Gruesome scene after she gave birth.
When I went in there, it was a gory, bloody massacre.
Body camera video shows police officers speaking with medical staff who worked the night Treviso was admitted into the ER.
She said she needed to go have bowel movement, and that's kind of when the whole thing happened.
Hospital surveillance video shows Treviso leave her patient room at 1:38 a.m., waddling toward the bathroom while clutching her back. Treviso remains in the bathroom for 19 minutes as multiple people check on her.
I knocked on the door and I said, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom, is what she replied. So I was like, okay.
At some point, I went and kind of checked on her, knocked on the door, seen if she needed anything. She denied. She said she didn't need anything.
Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Flush it, toilet flush?
Yes. After a while, I started hearing. So I probably checked on her 2 to 3 times. I'm not exactly sure. And then I just kept hearing paper towel dispenser and flushing and like the water running.
Kept hearing the paper towel dispenser. She was checked on. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom. Well, nobody's going to break down the door over that. What's the attorney going to do in trial when they say she told him she was just having a hard time going to the bathroom? She knew it wasn't a turd. She knew it was a baby.
I knocked again. Did she need anything? Denied anything. And then eventually it got to a point where I said, you need to come out. And I asked the clerk to get the key to unlock the door, because obviously she locked the door to go to the restroom. And whenever we finally had the key to unlock it, she opened it and just kind of walked out.
Did she say anything at that point?
She didn't say anything. She was just looking kind of straight past me and went back to the room.
Surveillance video captures that moment as Treviso leaves the bathroom and heads back to the patient room. It was then that hospital staff got a look at the bloody bathroom for the first time.
And all I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like horror film.
Police speak to multiple people who saw the bathroom, describing fresh blood on the walls, floor, and near the toilet.
The toilet's right here where you're at, and then the sink's right here. It was like up this way, blood splatter. Like
in your line of work, what would cause that kind of splatter?
I think something that got pulled out or ripped. Like if you rip something and blood just went, it was like.
Well, I can think of a couple of things that were ripped. A lot of women, when they have babies, have to have episiotomies. Or she could have ripped the cord. Blood splatter.
Like once you see the photo, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just.
So like you say, like rip, like something went like that?
Yeah, like when you rip something, or if you cut something and you go, like you swing your hand and blood just splatters.
Okay, so
that's how it looked.
Oh, so this was fresh to you?
Yes, this blood was fresh. You could even smell it.
We didn't know what this blood was from. We were a little concerned that maybe she had, known that we were going to figure it out and that she might have harmed herself or something in the restroom. So the doc wanted to go check her, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Unclear as to what had happened, other nursing staff care for Treviso, believing she had a miscarriage.
Oh, she came out of the restroom. There was a little trail of blood from the bathroom back to her room. We went to her room. I went to get her undressed. The doctor came in, explained to her that she had a miscarriage. Her and her mom had a back and forth about it.
The doctor said she had a miscarriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it seems essentially like, I'm not sure the exact words. So it was a few months ago, but she said, it seems that you've suffered from a miscarriage, which didn't seem totally abnormal. It seemed awful.
Okay, so at this point, they knew that she was pregnant. She went to the bathroom, and they're assuming that she miscarried. Well, that's a likely assumption, considering she went back to the bed with no baby. No baby in her arms, no baby in her uterus. So they're like, she miscarried. Don't think old Colonel Sanders isn't going to make a big shit show about that one.
All miscarriages before they're very bloody. And so...
was she bloody?
Mm-hmm.
Like
and then
her
was,
legs? And
yeah, she had blood all down her legs, and then there was like blood in the bathroom everywhere. So
where exactly was the blood and how much?
It was a good amount. It was like on the floor.
Minutes later, cleaning staff arrived to wash up the bathroom.
I was called and to go clean the patient's bathroom in ER around, maybe 2 o'clock or so. I think it was the time. I'm not too sure. So when I went in there, it was a bloody massacre mess.
Could you describe it if possible?
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor, on the wall.
Do you remember which wall?
The one behind the toilet, and then the one on the side right here. There's the one where the toilet sits, back of that.
Yeah.
And then on the side.
Where the call button is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the floor, everywhere.
After cleaning the entire bathroom twice,
the housekeeper knows it's a baby. The housekeeper knows it's a baby. But you got old Rosa. What did you do to it? You've got Alexi. It wasn't crying.
Cleaner grabbed the trash bag to toss it away. That's when she discovered the newborn baby.
When I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was trash in it. But I knew that didn't feel like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting the trash out. And then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in it. And that's when I freaked out and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front. And because there was a baby in the trash. And the baby, when I looked at it, the baby was wrapped up like in a, like at the bottom of the trash can, and with trash on top of it, in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it, like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top,
okay,
where they were throwing the trash at, when I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
You like describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He was like, he wasn't bruised or nothing like that, and he was like purple, pink skin type, color.
The cleaner then calls for a nurse who describes the disturbing moment the infant was discovered.
Called for a nurse. The housekeeper was screaming bloody murder. She didn't just hit the call button. There was quite a commotion. He had hair. Full term. Full term. Oh.
And then when I picked it up, that's when I noticed it even more because all I saw was black and purple. But once we picked it up, like the bag suctioned to his face. And that's when I yelled for my charge nurse, which was HT. And I told him, hey, she put her baby in the trash can. So I handed the baby to him. And he took off to the trauma room and opened up the bag. And then that's when we went and got Dr. Vasquez.
Police then hear from the nurse in charge, who says it was clear early on that the newborn was dead.
I go in the bathroom and she goes, something's in the trash can. I'm like, I looked in there, there's a clean liner. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, pick it up. I picked it, I could feel the weight. I knew then we had a serious problem. I just grabbed the trash can and went right across the hall into trauma 2. The liner was pulled out, but there was another trash bag in there in the bottom, but it was all it was rolled up. So I had to tear it apart. And then, of course, I saw the baby in there. So I pulled the baby out, got him on the bed, checked for signs of life. There was absolutely no life whatsoever. I immediately came out of there. After I did that, went into the room where she was performing the vaginal exam, and I immediately told her, you have to come out now. And she came out, and we went into trauma 2, and she reassessed the baby. At that time, between me and Chris and her, we determined, there was no reason for us to begin any life saving. The baby was completely gone.
Another nurse recalls the same moments.
And could you tell if the baby was alive or
They did not look alive. They did look alive. But also, I think the time that passed since she left the bathroom and it being in the bag, it was just.
How long do you think that was?
Maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. I just have a guess. I don't know. We brought the baby up. We called the doctor, obviously, out of the room from her exam, and we came in, doc assessed the baby, and basically determined it was not viable to.
It's safe to say that hospital staff sees a lot of scary things. A lot of scary things. And they have to deal with the police because a lot of victims have to go to the ER for various things. Stabbings, shootings, the R word, SA, you name it. So, while some people say this isn't a big deal to them, they see stuff like this all the time. Nah. They don't see babies in the trash can, and the housekeeper damn sure doesn't, with a plastic bag suctioned to their face.
Completely work the baby and all of that. So.
That nurse tells officers he believes Treviso knew she was pregnant and wanted to hide it from medical staff.
It seemed like we were being just deceived from the beginning, but that's just my take on it. It seemed like she was very manipulative with us, and it was at least what it seemed like to me. She didn't want you to discover, that she was pregnant, and she wore really baggy clothing. And she wouldn't sit still for you. I'm sure she was very uncomfortable too, but yeah, she wouldn't allow you to do it.
It seemed like she'd been trying to hide this pregnancy from her mother for some time. Mm-hmm. So if you know you're pregnant, you're not going to continue taking birth control doses. But if you're trying to hide it, you might start taking weight loss medications. That's just kind of what it seemed like in my head.
Other staff described the lengths Treviso allegedly went to keep her pregnancy and birth a secret.
The umbilical cord looked like an animal had tore it apart. Like, have you ever eaten string cheese? Mm-hmm. And, when you twist it, that's how the bottom of the umbilical cord looked. And I just remember it caught my eye, and I was like, God. I was like, this chick really ripped this thing apart.
You think she might have used her teeth? You think she might have used her teeth? She said, this chick really ripped this apart. This is beyond carnage. Beyond.
After this, medical staff call the police and alert Treviso about their discovery.
I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
And then I went in there to talk to the patient
Okay.
and asked her why was the baby in the trash can.
And what did she say?
She said that it just came out of her and she didn't know what to do.
And I said, did your baby take at least one breath when it first happened? Or did it take at least one breath, or was it not breathing? And then she kind of looked at me in the face and the eyes, and she was like, well, can I tell you? And I said, tell me what? And she said, so I've been having this bad abdominal pain, she said, and we came here to the ER, and when they brought me back here to this room, I felt like I needed to go poop. She said, and I asked if I could go to the bathroom. She said, and so when they said, yeah, that I could go to the bathroom, she said, when I sat on the toilet, she said, it just all fell out. And she said, but when I had it in my arms, it wasn't breathing, it wasn't moving. And so.
Okay. This supposedly was her first pregnancy. So we know that they don't just fall out unless you're Michelle Duggar. They don't just fall out. Peach State Mama's sick. She's home getting over the flu. I tell you what, it's 10 times worse to have the flu in the summertime than in the wintertime. Get well soon, Peach State Mama. They don't just fall out. No.
Of course, you want to be very, very judgmental at that time, and you have to bite your tongue sometimes. But, you know, my first reaction was like, I wanted to say, hey, well, then why wouldn't you call us for help? But I didn't. She said, so he wasn't moving, he wasn't breathing. So I just placed him in there.
Nurses who spoke with Treviso after the baby was discovered say she never asked about him. Instead, they say she was more concerned that she would get in trouble with her mother.
Did they have any comments?
Not one.
Really?
I was really surprised. Not one person asked me about the baby. If it was alive, if it was dead, if it was a boy, if it was a girl. No one asked me anything. She didn't even have. No.
See, in this, and I'm sure it's being investigated. Obviously, the police don't want my help. But the fact that their reactions were so dismissive of the baby really needs to be looked into. Not one person, is it a boy? Is it a girl? Their emotions were not where you would think they would be knowing you lost a grandbaby or a son like Mr. Boyfriend. Mr. Boyfriend knows that his son was found dead in a trash can. Tracy said, I would have lost my job. I wouldn't have been able to bite my tongue to her or her mother. Nope. HDC says their reactions speak volumes. Volumes.
She didn't ask. The only thing she started doing was crying and started talking about she didn't know what to do. Not one. I've never seen I've delivered multiple babies and I've seen multiple miscarriages.
She said she didn't know what to do. It wasn't crying. Now we know it's not an it. And she was scared.
I've never seen a reaction like that. And I don't even know what to say about that. I've never seen anything like it.
How would you describe the reaction?
I think there was no emotion except for herself. And she really wasn't even crying tears. She was just, and the only thing she was upset about was that I think she was going to be in trouble with her mother.
She didn't say anything about what had happened. She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So that's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking?
Like what's going to happen to me?
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
She essentially was scared. She was worried that she was going to get in trouble. She did have the back and forth with her mother that was just about like, they had said, oh, the mom was upset because she had had sex and hadn't told her. So they were going back and forth on that. And then she was just denying it, which was a little out of the, wasn't really deniable at that point in time.
Right.
It wasn't really deniable at that point. Exactly, Virgin Mary. Come on. This isn't Bethlehem. You didn't hook up with Joseph. And she's still denying it. Now, according to her attorney, she never said she hadn't had sex. She never said that she was a virgin. We've seen the back and forth between her and her mother. She was afraid she was going to be in trouble. Alexi does not strike me as someone who's afraid of getting in trouble by her mom, who is eating out of her hand. Not to mention, she's 19. Okay? She's 19.
So the patient was denying having sex at this point to her mom.
Yeah, she was trying to state that she was still a virgin.
After she came in from the bathroom.
Others believe Treviso knew she was up to no good.
She definitely knew what she was doing and what was doing was wrong because of the way she was talking to me, just stating, I didn't realize I was pregnant and we were going to take the birth, so, she was panicked, but, I didn't see her being in a state of mind where she did not know what she was doing.
Multiple hospital staff members say the incident is not one they will soon forget.
When there's like one or two things in the wastebasket, I usually pick it up and take it out, but I didn't that night. And then, I've been kicking myself on this because I feel like, if I would have just taken it out, I would have seen it.
Well, no one prepares for that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't act like that. So don't blame yourself for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a natural thing to do.
It's just hard because I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. And I've dealt with death before, but never like this.
Right.
Bless her heart. And I don't mean bless her heart in a Southern way. Southern ladies know what bless your heart means. But truly bless her heart. She's like, I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. She's blaming herself in a way. I've dealt with death, but nothing like this.
It was horrible.
I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen women that are only married or not married, but pregnant for 6 weeks and they lose that baby and they're a mess. You know what I mean? That girl went into that bathroom, made no sounds at all, and the baby came out of her. And I don't even know how she functioned that way to do what she did and with no emotion. I've never seen anything like it.
And it was a pretty good sized baby. Pretty good size.
It looked term to me.
Yeah, me too.
It was term. I can't tell you that was, but the only thing that upsets me the most is I understand she was scared, and I think her mother had a big dynamic on her, and I understand that. I think her mother was probably pretty controlling. I don't know that. I'm just speculation. But she gave me no chance to save that baby.
Look at him. And he's a former Marine. And he said, she gave me no chance to save that baby. Why? Why no chance to save the baby? What on earth? What on earth? She gave me no chance to save that baby. Sorry for the lag. OJ unplugged the computer and this thing just popped up and said, energy saving is on. That would have ended the show pretty quick because this thing sucks up a lot of battery pretty fast. He gets under the desk and screws around with stuff. God. She gave me no chance to save that baby. You know how hurt this man is? And whatever the outcome of this trial, I say clip her and Mr. Boyfriend. If Mr. Boyfriend doesn't stand up for what's right for his own son, they don't deserve to procreate anymore. Really tired of the Candace Wells of the world going around having child after child after child after child, and then everyone sits back going, CPS didn't do anything. They can't. They're not police. Fix them. You get one shot. That's it. This was her one shot. And if Mr. Boyfriend doesn't stand up and put a civil suit on her and start talking to the detective, well, I tell you what, snip, snip. Snip, snip. All right, now we get to the arrest of Alexi. And this is something that is hard to even wrap our minds around. For one, it took from January to May to arrest her. And in the meantime, her and Mr. Boyfriend went to prom. They went to prom. Look at those shit-eating grins. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, let them know you're with us too. Yeah, that was so. I thought you weren't supposed to do that. Technically two. I want to knock on front. Oh. Alexi. Yeah. Yeah, I think they went out.
I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on. Okay.
I'll give it to her whenever.
Can I see her?
Okay, again, Alexi's mother is still in total denial of two things. One, that there was a murder. I'm going to say three, tampering with evidence. And three, that Alexi is an adult. She has been told time and time again, we have to deal with Alexi. She is of age. She was told that at the hospital. She was told that at the police station the next day. Every time they called the damn house, they'd say, well, we need to speak with her, not you, because she is over 18. That elevator does not go to the top. Like mother, like daughter. There is so much entitlement going on in this family. It's disgusting.
She can see the Lord when she gets arrested.
This is my house. I
Right.
have a right to see the warrant.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her. We have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
You can go to the detention. Do you know where it is?
Everything?
It's
Okay,
lower.
so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18. She's got to talk.
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez.
Right.
What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
I mean, she's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
We'll tell you that. But
Okay, then let me know now. Let me know now. I'm giving you the cooperation. I told you answer my question.
I would have arrested her. I would have arrested her ass for harboring a fugitive. We're here to arrest her, not to talk to you.
What is she under arrest for?
Like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like, that's not, we can't really put that information, but bring her out here.
What is she under arrest
Bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right now.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under
gonna
arrest
get
for.
arrested regardless of how I don't know why.
For what? For what? For what?
You okay with telling me?
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
So, can you see her now?
Give me a minute.
At the hospital? At the hospital? No, Burger King. What the hell? What do you mean? Of course, at the hospital.
Okay.
I have a right to see a warrant. It doesn't matter if she's over the age of 18. This is my house. You have a right. You have to show me that warrant.
No, they don't. It doesn't matter. If she was at a hotel, they would just go get her. They wouldn't talk to the owner of the hotel and say, oh, we have to tell you first. You have to tell me. You have to tell me. This is my house. I would have arrested her. I would have arrested her.
You're searching her house.
Even if she's under arrest, you have to show me the
It's
warrant.
up to her to show
Sarah, this is Rose Rodriguez. Hey, I have the detectives here. They want to arrest my daughter. They're saying they have a warrant, but they can't show me a warrant for arrest.
Okay, so she goes inside to call the attorney. I'm assuming she's calling Colonel Sanders. But you did hear one of the detectives, I don't know which one, say something with the wind blowing. You can't really make out what they said in full, but they said something about obstruction. Well, guess who didn't want to wind up in the clink? Rosa. So she runs inside, but they won't show me the warrant. So I'm going to assume that even the receptionist at the law firm is going to tell her, if they have a warrant, you better produce her, or you're going to be in a heap of trouble.
You good? When we get to there, I'll give you a copy. She gets her copy. And it's up to her.
Can I see the warrant?
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's
Okay,
not a
can I
search
see
warrant
the
for your
arrest
house.
warrant? I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that prove?
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department in the hospital. I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Gary, this is Rosa.
Okay, now she's got the attorney on the phone, Gary. I heard her say, Gary, this is Rosa. Gary knows the law, and Gary's going to tell her. If you don't produce Alexi, your ass is going to be in trouble too. Extra AF said she thought they were home free. I agree. 4 months have passed, so they think this is just going to go away. Nah. Audacity. Okay. So I guess do I do it?
That's my first one. No, we'll go there. Trying to be protective there.
He clearly said murder and tampering with evidence. She's talking to the attorney as if he didn't know this wasn't coming down the pike. And she said it's for homicide because, you know, that sounds a little cleaner.
Okay. Probably just nosy neighbor.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's here. She's here right now. Yeah.
Oh, no. Might not be a nosy neighbor. Guess I could do a better part of the job.
Could you please
That is his policy.
I will give it to you. Please don't. Please don't.
She ran away from 1002 West Washington. It's nothing personal. It really is. And we understand. But we have to do our jobs too. Okay?
I understand that. I understand that. That's Melanie. That's Devin's mom. She's good. She's okay.
We're not going to be rough with her or anything. We're just going to take her over there and book her.
We're not going to be rough with her. They're being very nice with this girl. They're being very nice with this girl. Considering what she did. They're being very patient, very accommodating. So now, Mr. Boyfriend's mom is showing up. Notice in this family, they only cry when it's about their own ass. Where's the tears for the little baby? She's got a different attitude since she got done talking to Colonel Sanders. She's not all kiss my grits anymore, is she? She's got a different attitude altogether.
Please don't be rough with her, please.
Just bring her out. You can be with her the entire time. Okay?
You know where the public safety complex is? 3300 West Main?
You can follow us over there. I will take you there. You can follow me over.
As soon as I release the criminal complaint to her, she can then give it to you there, okay?
When can I get, like, her bond? What?
That's set up by the judge. It's Magistrate Judge Chuck Foster. He should be doing it. If it's after 3, he'll be doing it in the morning.
I think it's freaking hilarious that they arrested her after 3 so she wouldn't get, a fast bond. And 8th grade civics, mama. What do you mean? You honestly think they're going to stand there on your porch and set her a bond for you to go and start making phone calls? You know that she has to see the judge. You're not new to this world.
Go on the back? All right.
So you have the original?
I have the original and a copy.
A copy. So you want to give me the copy, and I'll make you a copy?
Works for me.
Because we need the. Well, I got to sign off on the original.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just.
How about we just meet at the.
Well, yeah, the original plan, sir.
Yeah, we just meet at. You can write down whatever you need.
Just
We
no
need her down
flammables, no flammables or sharp objects.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
I really didn't park in the best spot.
Writing down for her lawyer for when she gets over there. Her TJ is very small.
Who are these people?
No idea.
Central 7077 14 unit.
We're 10 for.
Oh, is that the boyfriend?
I don't know what he drives. I've only ever called him.
That's my other daughter.
Oh, okay.
That's my daughter.
The body cam is swaying, probably because the man wearing it is shaking his head in disbelief. Police show up to your house with an arrest warrant for murder. You better comply. There better be a lot of please and thank yous in there. I love how Devin's mom shows up, but Devin doesn't. You would think that Mr. Boyfriend would be there with his prom partner. He didn't have any problem going to the damn Olive Garden and getting pictures taken at prom with her. So on arrest day, why didn't he show up to the going away party? What's up with Mr. Boyfriend? Again, if that was my son, we'd be all over this.
Yeah, some lucky loose. Nothing important.
Central is at 30. Go for 7:30. 611 South First Street, the hospital auxiliary shop. We had an RP call in that the building was open, yet no workers. When I was on the phone with her, someone did come in claiming to be a worker. 611 South First.
You're arresting Alexi.
Good, please, she'll be
You're
there.
arresting Alexi. You're here at home. Bye.
What can you see in there?
I can see them keep going in and out of her room.
Oh, okay. Nothing weird though?
This is the longest arrest in the history of the damn world. Now, they have a warrant for her arrest. They don't have to be invited in. I know some people will argue about that, but I'm telling you, my husband's former law enforcement. If they wanted to, they could break down the damn door. They could call for backup. They could get a freaking SWAT team over there if they wanted. They could bust through the windows and pull her out. They can do whatever they want to do. They don't have to be this patient. This one detective's out in the yard looking like he's taking a piss out there, but whatever. I don't know why everyone's catering to this chick. I really don't get it.
Oh, Rosa.
Nothing sharp. Okay.
Swear to God, if it was me, not right to say swear to God, swear to OJ, I would have been like, all right, we'll be back. We'll be back. I'd have called the SWAT team. Not messing with this. This is crazy. I have a warrant for her arrest. And you want to call Mr. Boyfriend's mom and play patty cake with your lawyer on the phone? Who's going to tell you we have a warrant signed by a judge? And no, I'm not knocking the law enforcement because they already knew this was going to be very tricky with the situation.
No one saw her enter the house. No one saw her enter the house today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hi. What's your name?
Alexi.
Okay. What's the last 4 of your social?
She don't even know it.
You don't know it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Alexi, do you know your date of birth?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
Yeah, what's the last 4 of your social? And there's the mom. She doesn't know. Well, she's not 8. She's 19. I don't think I knew the last 4 of my social at 19 either. But she makes it sound like she's Forrest Gump or something. She doesn't know. She doesn't even know. Well, she can still get arrested for not knowing the last of her social.
11:25 birthday.
Yeah.
Do you have to walk her all the way over there? Can you bring your car up here?
Yeah.
That's all.
I'll go get it.
Alexi, are you okay with your mom getting your criminal complaint when we get to the detention center? It has your personal information
Can you
on it.
repeat that?
Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. I have to serve you first, then your mom can get it, okay? I do. He's gonna move his unit around. No medications, anything you need to take while you're in there?
No, sir, no.
Okay.
She has still been like bleeding, so I don't know if she needs.
Do you have any? They do. I don't know if they have tampons.
They do have feminine products.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure if you take your own, you can use your own.
Can she? Do you want to grab some? Can she grab some of that real quick? Or?
Yes. Do you mind if
Get your little bag.
one of us goes?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just making sure you're doing.
Just got me a little.
Okay. And just nothing sharp, no flammables, nothing sharp. Okay. Okay. They're gonna check it when you get over there. Okay.
Okay.
Confirm that address is 611 North First Street. 611 North First.
Okay. We'll check those when you, same thing. Okay. They're gonna check all that when you get over there. Okay.
Did the mom honestly think by her saying she's still bleeding, they were going to go, ew, we don't want a regular period around me? Like women in jail don't get their monthly cycle. This isn't hemorrhaging. She's making it sound like she's still having medical complications. She went to the prom a few months after the alleged murder of baby Alex. Taking pictures, has a corsage, has a dress. He's got a matching suit. Was she worried about it before the prom? Oh, what if you bleed? What if you bleed? I'd have been like, what if you get pregnant again?
Thank you.
I'm going up there right now too. Okay.
All right. What's in there?
Personal pads.
Just
Personal
pads.
pads?
Yeah, she needs them.
Oh, okay.
3200 West Main Street, the Public Safety Complex. If you just go through the front door, you know where we first spoke in the records?
Yeah.
If you just go over there. Is there already four?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll meet her in the front.
Okay. I'll get with him and do all stuff. Go to dispatch.
We'll meet you in the front.
Okay. I'll be headed your way.
Or relay the rest.
I'll be headed your way for the relay shortly. Yeah, I'm gonna go station. He signs the return, then I'll relay. Send it back.
Make sure you send a copy to the readout. So
No, that's what I'm gonna relay it.
you send them a copy.
Alexi's not even crying, but her mother is. Now, why do you think the mom is crying? Why do you think she's so upset? Is she afraid she might get in trouble? Is she afraid without her there to control the scene, Alexi might say something that could get her in trouble? What is going on? Of course, I'd be crying if my child was arrested too. I'd be kicking my own ass on top of it. I'd be like, damn, the hell, what the hell did I do? Which is not the parents' fault. But in this case, I'm wondering. Just me said it's how it makes her look. It's how it makes her look. Well, her look is bad. Her look is bad. Because the day after, and this is on True Crime Anelli, Unseen said, because this reflects on her and she'll get in trouble. Also, major control issues. Yeah. So this is the day after the arrest. She's still trying to run the show. When Dawn and Candace wind up breaking up, I think Rosa should marry Dawn. They both love to run the shit show.
That's fine. Oh, hold on, please. Hello, Rosa. So I just had to make sure she got it first, and then she was okay with it. Social's on there, social date of birth. Okay. This is a criminal complaint. Okay. She wants. This is her copy. She didn't want to give you a copy. She just didn't want to read it. So this is hers. Okay. If she needs a copy, we can get her another one. Also, did a search warrant for her DNA. All it is a buccal swab. Like when you go to the doctor's office, you open your mouth, you have a cough, when you have a cough.
Did she do that?
Yes. Okay, this is her copy. She didn't want to read it either. Okay? This is called return inventory. This is saying what I took for it. 2 pairs of buccal swabs sufficient for laboratory testing. Okay? This is that. Do you have any questions on any of that?
On this? No.
Nothing? Okay. Leave you to it then, okay?
Okay, wait. Is she going to stay here? Are you leaving her here or are you
Yes.
transporting?
That's not up to me. It's up to your attention.
She's already been told this. Rosa, you've already been told this. That's up to the judge. That's up to the judge. Is she going to stay here? Yes, we're getting silk sheets for her right now. And extra fluffy maxi pads for her uncontrollable bleeding. Is she going to stay here? Yes, we just asked her how she likes her steak done and if she would like her potato twice baked or just regular. Is she going to stay here? This woman.
Here or are you
Yes.
transporting?
That's not up to me. It's up to your attention. She should be calling you after she's done with booking.
Okay, are you going to isolate her?
Does she need to be?
Gary Mitchell, just tell me because that's our lawyer, Gary Mitchell, and he.
Are you going to isolate her? Well, because Rosa obviously has been handy on the Google, and she knows that when women are in jail for killing another child, the other women in the pokey aren't very nice to them. Well, Gary Mitchell, get Gary's crusty ass there. Where's Gary's crusty ass? Is he basting chicken right now? You're paying him a lot of money, Rosa.
He said if he just wants to keep her safe.
Okay.
So if anybody finds out that what she did, what they think she did, or you
Mhm.
know, and she doesn't want any kind of harm.
Okay.
So if you guys could isolate her, I don't want anything to happen.
No, I know what you're talking about. He wants her to be put in special population. That's what that means.
Okay.
No, I'll make sure if she does go out, she shouldn't because this is through magistrate court here in town, and she should be seen tomorrow because it is non-violent. She has no priors. She more likely to be released tomorrow. And because I don't know if the district attorney is going to do a pretrial detention or anything, but if they don't, then she'll see the judge in the morning and then go from there.
Now, that's a very important term. This is something Rosa should have been writing down. Will the district attorney do a pre-trial detention? Meaning, we're going to keep her locked up until she goes to trial. This doesn't seem to faze Rosa.
What? Yeah.
It depends on the judge's schedule. He has, I believe, 72 hours to see anybody, but it just is on a rotating docket. I think detention starts at 7 in the morning. I'm not too sure right now.
Is it for sure that she will get seen tomorrow?
The judge has 72 hours to see her. He has to see her before 72 hours or she gets released.
Okay.
Okay. More likely, she'll be released on an OR. It's called order of recognizance, your own recognizance.
I don't know why Rosa keeps dragging her other daughter around the police station about this. This tells me a lot about Rosa. She needs to leave the other daughter out of it. Unless she's doing this as a learning lesson. If you do this, this is what's going to happen to you.
Cognizance, meaning we're trusting you to go out there, not commit any crimes, any more crimes, do anything else. You can't leave a certain area, stuff like that. That's more likely what will happen. All right. So that's where you're at right there. All right.
Thank you for being so nice to her.
All right. I'll leave you all to it.
He said, I'll leave you all to it. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo. I just don't think I would leave Rosa in charge of too much. And I'm telling you, Extra AF says she calls Lexi her world in front of her other daughter. That's exactly what made me sick. My daughter is my world. Where you're obviously not your daughter's world, because it seems that her motive was to hide your grandchild from you. That's what it looks like. Just to me. It's a very strange family dynamic. All right, another strange family dynamic. This was sent to me over the weekend, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a woman in Nebraska who also has a relationship with her mother similar to the relationship we see between Alexi and her mother. Her mother helped her force her own abortion. Her own abortion. When the baby came out, which I'm not quite sure how far along she was. I think it was 4 or 5 months, if I'm reading it right. Probably not. They took, as they call it, the fetus, but the baby. They burnt it and they buried it. Okay, they got the Google warrants. They got the Facebook warrants. And they understood that her mother was coaching her into this. People are saying that the girl has undiagnosed mental illness. Don't we all? That she is a little slow, they say. Aren't we all? Doesn't sound too slow to me that she went along with burning the baby. Now, if that doesn't make you mad enough, please listen to her sentence.
Nebraska woman accused of having an illegal abortion has received her sentence after taking a plea deal. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Zavolinsky. 19-year-old Celeste Burgess was sentenced to 90 days in the Madison County Jail after pleading guilty earlier this year to concealing or abandoning a dead body.
90 days in jail. Celeste Burgess. She took a plea deal. Hell, I'd have taken it too. 90 days. I mean, I wouldn't have ever done this. God, no. 90 days. Now, everything I've been reading about this is because of her delayed mental capacity and stuff. No. 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 Wrong. Wrong.
To concealing or abandoning a dead body. Burgess and her mother, Jessica Burgess, are accused of working together to end the pregnancy. Jessica pleaded guilty earlier this month to providing an illegal abortion, false reporting, and tampering with human skeletal remains. She faces her sentencing in September. Nebraska woman accused of having an illegal abortion has received her sentence after taking a plea deal. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Zavolinsky. 19-year-old Celeste Burgess was sentenced to 90 days in the Madison County Jail after pleading guilty earlier this year to concealing or abandoning a dead body. Burgess and her mother, Jessica Burgess, are accused of working together to end the pregnancy. Jessica pleaded guilty earlier this month to providing an illegal abortion, false reporting, and tampering with human skeletal remains.
Jessica? Celeste? What mother would coach their daughter on how to force a miscarriage, or as they call it, an illegal abortion? In my opinion, this should be 20 years. Skeletal remains, tampering with human skeletal remains. I'm telling you something, guys, and I can't wait for the mom to get sentenced in September.
remains. She faces her sentencing in September.
Freaking disgusting. We've heard about these back alley abortions and stuff. Okay? Horrible, disgusting. But the mother helped her. She wasn't even thinking about what if she hemorrhaged? What if she needs to go to the hospital? I cannot, this is sick. This is sick. I'm thinking about doing a whole show about it, but it's so damn triggering. It is so triggering. Can't imagine. I do not know why the life of a baby is so unimportant to these women. I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get it. Just Me says morally bankrupt. Annette said, who financed these judges? Well, he was appointed by someone that I'm not too fond of, but I'm not going to get into politics. Inch High said, why do all these people think a baby is a hindrance? I don't get it. And then you have people that would do anything to love a child. They would do anything to love a child, to raise a child. Extra AF said, I'm looking at my grandbaby right now and I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. How about some positivity? How about, this has been a very dark show. How about we end it on a good note? Anybody want a positive news clip? Okay, this is about a mother that was on the way to the hospital, and the powers that be in New Jersey had to help her deliver her baby on the side of the road. Mom is doing well. Dad is doing well. Baby's doing great. These are real heroes.
Baby's here.
A baby is born on the side of a highway at 2 a.m.
All right. Well, congratulations to both of you.
Dad pulled over to the side of the road. When New Jersey state troopers arrived, they saw Mom on her hands and knees on the ground and in labor.
Can't get up. Can't move, right?
No.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. They're on the way to the hospital. He has to pull over because she's like, I can't sit here any longer. It's going to come out of me. It's going to come out of me. And here comes law enforcement.
All right.
Ah, here comes the baby.
The drama played out on Interstate 287 in Somerset County. About 2 minutes later, with calm officers and a seemingly calm dad-to-be, the baby was here.
The baby's here.
Troopers helped untangle the umbilical cord that was wrapped around the baby. The couple named him Jack. Mom and baby were taken to the hospital by EMS for a follow-up. They are now doing okay, and Jack and his parents will always have quite a story to tell.
They will always have quite a story to tell. Miracles, blessings, people doing the right thing. Now, if someone asked me to deliver a baby, I'd be like, well, I can rub your back, but I'm really not going to know what to do when it comes out. NC said that is so heartwarming. I think so too. Tears of joy, because this could have gone wrong very fast. Very fast. I mean, on the side of the road, come on. All right, well, this has been a great show. Thank you guys for being here. the situation with Alexi and her mother, Mr. Boyfriend, and even his mother are maddening. It pisses me off to no end. The way their heads are being petted, and the entitlement just won't stop. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. We have another show about Quentin Simon. A lot of stuff broke over the weekend we need to talk about. I think tomorrow is going to be a 2 for Tuesday because we have stuff we need to talk about with the Long Island serial killer. So as always, thank you for being the best chat, the best community on YouTube. Thank you, Mod Squad, for keeping it real, keeping it cool. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning, unless you come to Discord or we're chatting in one of the Facebook groups. Have a great rest of your day. Monday, which is the worst.